So today is one of 3 sessions that we're so grateful to have from the Career Exploration Program at Swiss Re. They're going to provide us with enriching opportunities for you to engage within their field and learn more about reassurance. Each day, Tuesday, today, the 2nd, the 9th, and the 11th, we'll cover just a little bit different of a topic. Today, we're going to get started with an introduction. Feel free to turn your cameras on. You can use the chat function as well, and I can monitor that for our guests today. But with that, Jamie, if you'd like to get started.
Thank you. I am going to go ahead and share my screen. And if someone could just give me a confirmation that you can see it. Cool.
Looks good.
Okay. Thank you. So thank you everyone for letting us have the opportunity to come speak with all of you. My name is Jamie Andrea. I have been at Swiss Re for 9 years, actually right when I got out of school. I started at Swiss Re and I now manage our internship and graduates program. And one of the things that I work on is campus outreach and really partnering with different universities that we think would be a good fit for Swiss Re. And so we are going to talk to you a little bit today about reinsurance. We won't go into too technical detail, but kind of a high level about what is Swiss Re, what do we do, and why we want to speak with all of you guys on the phone today and learn a little bit about some of our employees. And we'll open it up for questions at the end, but feel free to interrupt any of us at any time. You can raise your hand, you can put a question in the chat. Happy to answer questions as we go. This is your session, so happy to do that as we move through the presentation. So I'm going to start by sharing this video. I think this does a better job than me talking about Swiss Re. So it's just a minute, I believe.
Jamie, I don't believe we have the audio. Can anybody else hear?
I think we're missing that piece.
The audio didn't share?
No.
Let me see if you can hear it now. So I love this video. I think it does a really good job of kind of highlighting some of the key things that Swiss Re stands for. The first, our mission statement to make the world more resilient, but then also focusing on how we are a knowledge sharing company, we are a risk company, and what do we do is using data and technology and our people to really identify the risks and mitigate risks. And I'm gonna share my screen again. I think I'm sharing my entire screen. And so now I want to show a short clip about something that recently happened in the news, which you guys may have been familiar with, Hurricane Ida. This is a short video as well. But at Swiss Re, we talk about risks. So some of the risks are natural catastrophes such as hurricanes and floods, but it's also cyber risk, event cancellation, business interruption. But I think natural catastrophes are the most visual. So we'll just show this real quick. And I'm not going to play the entire news clip.
Geist on a Thursday morning. These are pictures new to us from East Rutherford, New Jersey. Flash flooding across the Northeast. There has been destruction. There has been death as the remnants of Hurricane Ida are hitting the Northeast this morning, with reports of flash flooding and tornadoes in New York, New Jersey, and Philadelphia. Last night, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio and New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy both declaring states of emergency, calling on residents to remain inside, not to travel. Fire and rescue crews across the region responded to a number of water rescues and evacuations because of the high water levels. There have been at least 5 weather-related fatalities so far recorded, 4 in New York City, 1 in Passaic, New Jersey. The National Weather Service issued a flash flood emergency in New York City for the first time ever last night.
So I don't want to share the entire clip, but I just wanted to highlight that an example of something that happened recently and the damage that it caused, not in terms of there's fatalities, there was flooding, people lost their homes, people lost their cars, and how do people recover from that? And that's part of the reason insurance and reinsurance is so critical, because it helps people during these events financially rebuild themselves. So it's not just about a horrible accident or a natural catastrophe, which is already a tragedy. But on top of that, we don't want people to have the financial burden that results from some of these events. So I just wanted to do a quick poll. So if you guys have a smartphone, we use Slido at Swiss Re. So if you use the link here, you can type it into your phone, www.sli.do, and use the code SRPSU. And so the question is, how much insured losses do you think Hurricane Ida is estimated to have caused? And you can see on the poll, 600 to 800 million, 15 to 25 billion, 25 to 35 billion, and 50 to 60 billion. Which, if any of these amounts are correct, is a lot of money. I see some answers coming. I'll just give it a couple more seconds. Okay, so the correct answer, the current estimated cost is 30 billion or more in insured losses. So they're still identifying the claims and identifying the damages. So that is an estimate, and that is an astronomical event. And the thing with claims resulting from the hurricane is these are 30 billion is only as a result of hurricane claims. So that does not include flood claims, or that does not include wind claims. So that is a separate in addition to these amounts. So just wanted to kind of give you guys a visual, an example where insurance steps in. Here we have what we call the reinsurance ecosystem. And so you can see on the left-hand side some examples of what an insured risk is that you could cover. So you could get your auto, car insurance covered, home, life and health, this is medical, life insurance, business interruption, and natural catastrophes. So example, flood, hurricane, snowstorm. And so as an individual, you would, or a business corporation would identify an insured risk, and they would have a policy. So if I have a car, which I do, I have to get car insurance through a primary insurance company. And then the primary insurance company, depending on what type of organization they are, how big they are, would potentially then get reinsurance. And so Swiss Re has coverage in the primary insurance space, what we call corporate solutions. And the majority of our business is on the reinsurance side. So we have reinsurance, but we also have a pillar called iptiQ, which focuses on life and health. But you can see here, each part through the graph is spreading some of that risk transfer. So me as an individual is protecting my car by going through insurance. The insurance company is protecting themselves from a large amount of claims or loss by getting reinsurance coverage. So you can see this visual of how they interact together.
So Jamie, if I could add, if we go back to that slide,
Yes.
everybody, there wouldn't be a Beaver Stadium without reinsurance. You know, we wouldn't have 107,000 fans in a stadium without reinsurance. Some of these risks are just so large and so unique that regular, insurance companies don't want to take all of that risk on themselves. So they would pass it off to a reinsurer. So, just football is just one example. You can imagine 100 different events that go around your campus that wouldn't happen if it wasn't for reinsurers there to support the insurance industry. And as you can imagine, every aspect of life has got some aspect of insurance as part of it. So any questions you guys have, please feel free to ask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think since working at Swiss Re for 9+ years, I've realized how essential insurance and reinsurance is in everyday life as well. So in this slide, I just wanted to highlight some of the risk knowledge focus areas for Swiss Re. So we are a risk company, we are a knowledge company. This is the essential part of our business. So some of the main focus areas for us going forward, and this is part of our new strategy and our new branding, is focusing on mitigating climate risk. So obviously you hear about this every day in the news, and you hear about new natural catastrophes that are resulting as a result of climate change. At Swiss Re, we really are on the cutting edge of using digital solutions, but also using data to help with the role of insurance in terms of identifying risks, but also in paying out claims faster, or identifying how to assess claims or assess risk. So really kind of using technology in all areas of the insurance ecosystem to make the experience more positive, but also more accurate. And then the last one is helping societies strengthen themselves to be more resilient so that they are more self-reliant. So now I want to hear from some of our Swiss Re employees from their own experiences working in the reinsurance and insurance industry. I think it's helpful to have a little bit of background about what we do at Swiss Re, but now hearing from some of our employees of what do they like about the insurance industry. So I will start with Christy Adamson, and ask you, what do you like working about in the reinsurance industry?
Sure. So thank you, Jamie. Hi, everyone. So I've been with Swiss Re about 16 years. I came in through the graduates program that Jamie had mentioned earlier. It's been such a rewarding career for me here at Swiss Re. I definitely thought that I would be making moves within the industry once I entered the industry, but I have to say Swiss Re does a fantastic job of just investing in their talent and really, growing and developing the individuals. So I've been able to find that next challenge each time within the company. I currently sit within our, what we call globals division. So the largest insurance companies out there are my clients. And so as Dale and Jamie were explaining, it's my role to help them diversify their risk, right? So we take some of their risk onto our balance sheet as a reinsurer. So that's just a little bit about what I do. And I would say, for me, the main piece is, the reason that, I wake up every day and get excited to come to work at Swiss Re is really about the purpose is the first one. So our vision and our mission is to make the world more resilient. And I think you saw through those videos, just things that can happen, and Dale's example of the stadium as well. I mean, we're out there to really make the world more resilient. And so that purpose really resonates for me. The second piece is the people, tremendous people, right? Just awesome individuals all around the world that I get to work with every day. Definitely the people. They're smart, they're professional, they're fun, they challenge me in healthy, constructive ways, and really make just coming to work a lot of fun and an awesome experience. So the people is number two. I'd say the passion as well. As a company, we're just very passionate about our people, the work that we do, the impact that we can have on society, and we take that very seriously. So I think that also kind of ties into that purpose piece. And then performance, right? We are collaborative internally, but we're competitive to the outside, right? And so I think we really take our mission very seriously, but we also look to succeed, and we look to deliver value to all of our shareholders and our investors and our stakeholders. So I would go with purpose, passion, people, performance would be what I would share with you in terms of Swiss Re and the culture.
The 3 Ps, I guess.
3 or 4 Ps there.
Thank you for sharing. I think when you spend so much time at work, it is important that you do have similar values and you share the purpose and you enjoy the people that you work with. So thank you for sharing that. I'm going to ask the same question for Maria and ask you, what do you like working in the insurance industry?
Can you hear me? Hello.
Hi, yes.
Hi. Well, it's not fair that I have to follow Christy. Okay, let me just say that now. But I'm gonna do the best I can because I do love working here. So I have an accounting degree, and when Swiss Re came to recruit at my school, I'm like, what is reinsurance? I didn't have a clue. All I know is that I didn't want to work for the big five. Back then it was big six or whatever. And I wanted to have something where I could get, more vacation time. So I came on board with Swiss Re, and what I really like about it is the fact that there were so many disciplines and so many opportunities to move from one discipline to the next, and that's what I liked about it. So you see, my profile says in asset management. I actually started in group internal audit doing P&C audits, so audits in the areas like Christy would be responsible for. After a while, I wanted something, a change. So I went to risk management, and that was an easy transfer. So there's so many different things it affords you to have an opportunity to see areas that you could move into. And the company really promotes that kind of behavior. So for me, after a little while in risk management, I was able to get back into audit, but not in P&C, now in asset management. So continuous learning. And I'll just put the plug in there that while you're here, if you want to further your degree, they'll pay for that also. But it is continuous learning. I love the fact that it's a global company, and being in part of audit, I've been able to see travel all over the world, right? So when we talk about my compensation, I think my biggest compensation is seeing different cultures all over the world where Swiss Re operates and dealing with different people and really seeing the impact of what we do as a reinsurance company has on people. Not just, okay, I work for this company, but how does this impact people's lives, right? As far as everything Chrissy talked about, closing the protection gap and just being able to be there for people when they need us. So I really love working for the company. I've been here 22 years and I've moved in different areas. So I guess that's a testament to the fact that I do love working here. And I just want to say that there's an opportunity for everybody. I wouldn't think that if I wanted to go into the business area, to the reinsurance area, that's something that would be allowed also. So there is no limit to what you can do when you get in here. So I guess that's what I want to say is.
Yeah,
It's a great place to be, and the people are great, and the support is good. And the one thing I want to highlight, and because everybody knows me, I'm big in this space, is the fact that their attitude towards the whole D&I space, diversity and inclusion. We don't just have it as a thing we say. It's a place where they actually live by this whole bring your whole self to work, be who you want to be, and really embrace people, their cultures, and who they are as people. So that's an added plus for me also.
Thank you. I think being able to have a full career at one company, you said you've been here for 22 years. That's really, really special. And I think that is unique to such a large global organization as well. You mentioned about traveling and learning different cultures, and I definitely echo that's something working at a global company has been attractive to me as well. and I know maybe some younger people also are interested in exploring the world a little bit more. I'm going to ask Elizabeth, what excites you about reinsurance?
Sure, and you can call me Liz.
Liz, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Hey, so I am a property underwriter really focused on property cat underwriting. I'm based in Los Angeles, and I've been with Swiss even longer than Maria, 26 years, if that's possible, right? And again, it's just a testament to what a really fantastic company Swiss is and the opportunities provided. So I started my career at Swiss in the claims department and loved it. Absolutely loved it. But after 16 years, I felt like I kind of maxed out my learning. And I was given the opportunity to transfer to the underwriting unit. And there I was, the oldest person in the unit by far, and just had really great peers that were so understanding and forgiving and really helped me and guided me in my learning path in the underwriting space. So forever grateful. And it really, I feel like it's given me just a great view of what reinsurance is. I love what the industry does. I love the fact that we were looking at macro pictures, right? So insurers, reinsurers see what's happening in society, right? Observe climate change probably fairly early because we saw events becoming larger and larger due to climate change. We have seen social inflation where juries have been awarding more and more to plaintiffs and due to several reasons. But I love the macro pictures. And then obviously, I really adore the people I work with, a wide variety of folks, right, from different disciplines that Maria was talking about. So actuarial, legal, claims. It just is it's the whole picture, and that's what I really enjoy.
Thank you. I think it sounds like there's a trend with the people history, which is nice because we'll go into that in the next slide. But I appreciate you sharing the examples of how climate change and predicting climate change, and because that's real life and that's what's happening. And it's really cool to kind of see the news and then see how it affects us at work and how are we impacting change. So I think it's really unique and it's really special, and I enjoy that part as well. Tina or Dale, did you want to add anything? Tina and Dale, for those on the call, were really critical in organizing this event and spearheading this. Dale is on the board of directors at Penn State, and Tina is part of our diversity inclusion committee. So hats off to them for assisting with the organization.
Yeah, well, you know what, I'd be glad to start with that last part, which I know that Maria already talked about. So I'm Tina. I've been at Swiss Re for about 6 years, and I came from other industries. So I'm a lawyer. I went to law school. I worked in a law firm for a long time. And then I've worked as in-house counsel in the publishing field, in technology, and now in financial services. So, you know, one of the benefits to being a lawyer is you can change which industries you work in. And I think, you know, a couple of things that everybody's already said. I mean, the fact that we don't just talk it, we make the world more resilient. You know, the idea that there's a tsunami in a beautiful place in, you know, the South Pacific, and that, you know, those people will be able to rebuild their hotel because of reinsurance is pretty cool. The fact that the World Trade Center can be rebuilt, you know, the fact that all these, you know, athletes have their amazing, you know, talents insured and all the rest of it. I think it's, as society goes, it's something I didn't think about before I came into the reinsurance industry. You know, I just insured my car, I got my health insurance, I did what everybody else did, you know, in terms of our personal insurance. And I thought, you know, this is just a really fascinating area. And it's kind of invisible to a lot of people who aren't close to the industry. And it is absolutely one of the most important things, that there are financial underpinnings for so much. But I wanted to talk a little bit about DEI. One of the great things for me about working at Swiss Re is that they're extremely encouraging of working on things besides your day job, and you get credit for it. It's not just extra volunteer stuff. So if you're very interested in helping out with your location's charitable donations, you can get involved in organizing things like that. If you're involved in diversity and inclusion, we have many ways for people to get involved, and it's a passion of mine, and I've been a leader in that space, and besides being a legal advisor. And I guess the last thing I would just mention is what you've already mentioned is, I mean, working in a global company, with employees who are coming in, I work in New York, to our office space from everywhere. I mean, from the Middle East and from Europe and from China and everywhere. And being able to be in the lobby here in Armonk, New York, with people from all over the world is really thrilling. And it's wonderful to learn their cultures. I know we've had a couple of years now with beautiful Diwali celebrations that were amazing and colorful, and everything that you would expect. So those are things I don't know that you get in a domestic organization, and I don't know how much other companies allow you to use your work time on these other things that matter a lot to you. And then I would echo what a couple of people have said. I mean, I find everybody here to be so collaborative and so competent. If if somebody doesn't know the answer to a question, they're quickly helping you find the right person or the right place to get the answer. And that just makes it a pleasure.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Dale Predmore. I'm a Penn State grad. I'm Penn State proud, and even more so, I'm Swiss Re proud. It's pretty cool. You turn on the TV every day, or you look at the news every day, and you look at the events around the world, and then you run into the office and say, okay, how are we involved in this? Because 9 times out of 10, Swiss Re is going to be involved in every major event around the world, whether it be a hurricane or a political upheaval somewhere. We're going to have risks that we cover. But I think I love how Maria put it the best. We're a group of people who are just helping people. Because even though we fix bridges and buildings, what we're really doing is helping those people just get on with their lives again, and helping people sustain themselves, and helping the planet sustain itself. So we get involved in everything from just risk mitigation and compensating people for their losses to preventing losses. We're a green company. We look to protect our water. We look to protect our air and our natural resources. Swiss Re is into the world. Not just risk, but the world, and it's sustainability. Sustainability is you'll hear it as a word we say all the time, but it's a way we really think of things. How are we able to manage this planet and keep it going? And Swiss Re is at the heart of everything we do there. But again, Penn State is my world too. So I'm so glad you guys are here. I hope we can do more together, and I really hope we strike up some interest in you into reinsurance. It took me most of my career to get to Swiss Re. It was always a target of mine to get here because I knew it's a great company it was. I've been here 10 years now, and I couldn't dream of a better place to work for or better people to work with. But again, it took me 10 years to find out about reinsurance. So that's why we wanted to bring it to you guys early on, because you might think, okay, what do I do with a bachelor's degree? But there's so much that we do in reinsurance that you guys can be engaged in it right away. If you understand people, can empathize with people, can communicate with people, all of these are skill sets that we need in this industry because we're a people industry. Don't get bogged down in the math and the finance and the numbers, because at the end of all those numbers are people. And that's really what we're all about. So I'm so glad you guys are here. And again, feel free to email any of us and ask questions.
Thank you. I saw one question in the chat asking about international students. So we do sponsor international students if they have a science, technology, engineering, or a mathematics degree. And then considering what the role is, we would be open to other degrees as well. And so you guys did a really great job of leading into our people slide, talking about all of your experiences and really how important working with people that you enjoy working with has on your work experience. Because again, I spend more time with my colleagues than my family, right? So you spend a lot of time there. And at Swiss Re, we really do value having an inclusive organization, focusing on diverse talents. Our brand promise is really partnering for progress and working together and collaborating, not just with our internal employees, but also with our external clients. And all of us having this ultimate goal of how do we make the world more resilient? We talked about using data, using technology, but it's also about getting new perspectives to help us with our new solutions. And so all of this combined is part of our people strategy and why we put people at the forefront of everything that we do. Dale, I really liked your comment that at the end of the numbers, there is people there. So I think that's a great comment. Christy, did you have something to add?
I think there was a question in the chat around the majors. What majors are you currently seeking?
So that's a great question because I have been in my role now for 4 years, focusing on campus recruiting and interns and graduates. And when I started, we were looking for only risk management majors, only insurance majors, only business majors. And in the past 2 years, we've seen a huge shift into the backgrounds that we're looking for. And it's really less on the degrees, but more on the behaviors and the skill sets that you bring to the role. So we are open. We had last year someone who had a classical music major intern with us. We've had people with history majors. We have, there's a big shift to needing marketing, communications, as we're going more online and needing to better sell our products and work with clients and have something that's visually appealing. So I would say there's no specific degree. That's a great question. I think as long as you have an interest in the insurance industry and you have the behaviors that at Swiss Re we look for, your background can be applied to many different roles. And the technical skills that you might need for your role, you can learn as long as you're open to learning and continuing to develop yourself.
And Jamie, if I could add, please, at Penn State, you guys know there's an entrepreneurial minor, and they have the Happy Valley Launch Box right down on Allen Street. I really encourage everybody on the call to go there and speak to the people at the Launch Box, and they'll tell you how you can sell yourself. They'll convert your skills into business language that you can communicate with employers. The name, image, likeness is a big deal right now. And what the Launchbox is doing is working with those athletes from every team to learn how they are the product. And the same applies to you as, if you're a history major or an English major, you are the product. So I really encourage you to go down there. It's free. Their doors are wide open, and talk to them and just throw some ideas and let them look at your resume, because they could really be helpful with converting how you present yourself, how you speak about your skill set into attributes that employers are looking for today.
Thank you. Hamza, please correct me. How do I pronounce your name?
Yeah, it's Hamza. My name is Arabic, so not all languages have the letter ha, and it's Hamza in Arabic, but Hamza. It's okay. I go with Hamza anyways. That's fine. So yeah, I would like to thank everyone being here today and giving us all the information about Swiss Re. I actually registered for this session once I got the email from the college. And I've heard some people talking about diversity and inclusion. And I currently work for the Penn State Global in like two positions. And yesterday we had an event like where we gathered too many people from different parts of the world. And I took a photo with someone from Bhutan wearing his traditional dress. And that was something I wouldn't do otherwise if like I didn't get involved with the global community. And given the fact I'm actually international student. And looking to Swiss Re's locations, they're based off in different locations. And honestly speaking about myself, I would love to try something else other than the US, since I'm currently here doing my studies. And I wanted to ask if there's like the program, does it like include other offices around the world, or it's just like the US offices? And the other question is, I think someone else asked it before. So if it's like another country, does Swiss Re provide like sponsorship letters to, apply for visas and stuff like that?
So great questions. I think there was a few questions there. So at Swiss Re, we do have an interns at Swiss Re program, which is US focused, but we do have internship positions and co-ops all over the world. The thing about the US program is ours is over the summer, whereas other locations, they're all year round and really depends on the role. But it's not a formal program for a specific period of time. It's ongoing based on the business needs. And then we have co-ops, which are in Canada, which are all year round. And then we have apprenticeship programs in Europe, which are also all year round and usually depend on where you are at your level of study. Our graduates program is a global program. I would say depending on your passport will depend on where you can apply, because I know some of the roles in the European Union are very hard to have people outside of the European Union apply to. But outside of that, we definitely see a lot of mobility and flexibility. And depending on the right candidate for the right role, Swiss Re would cover costs to help with the transition or visa application. I don't know, Tina, if there was any things to add to that, or if I answered the questions.
I mean, from my perspective, you answered the questions, because we're not going to get super into any individual situation on this call. But yeah, no, that was a good answer.
Yeah, and sorry, I didn't mention that, but I'm currently studying economics and international politics, and this is my junior year. And I'm really interested about diversity and inclusion. That's why I actually asked this question. And this what actually grabbed my attention during Tina's and other speakers when they were talking about diversity and inclusion. Yeah, and thank you. I think that covers my question. And if I had anything, I will email my questions directly to you.
Yeah, so we gave Katie all of our speakers' contact informations and the bios, and all of our speakers are happy to answer more follow-up questions afterwards, because as Tina said, we could spend hours on this topic alone.
I'll make sure to email that to our attendees today after our call.
Great. So the question now is, why are we presenting at Penn State? Why PSU? Why did we? I think Dale answered this a little bit, but at Swiss Re, we mentioned we are looking for diverse talent, and this means all types of diversity. So diversity of thought, diversity of background, diversity of race, gender, and we really feel at Penn State that you guys as students have a lot of this backgrounds that would be a good fit for Swiss Re. And we talked about not technical degrees, but behaviors. And the liberal arts degrees have a lot of those soft skills that we are looking for in some of our positions. And as Dale mentioned, that people are at the end of the math or end of the programming. At Swiss Re, we are a very people-focused company. Our clients are at the center of everything that we do. So being client-facing, having those right skills to interact with clients are very important. Some of the key skills that we are looking for are communication skills, relationship building, marketing, branding, project management. And we feel that at Penn State, a lot of the degrees would be applicable to some of these skills and behaviors that we're looking for. Also, Dale spoke very highly of Penn State in terms of the caliber and the quality of students. And so we're hoping that this is an opportunity for you guys to learn a little bit about us, and then also learn a little bit more about the students there. And hopefully we can find some matches in terms of internship opportunities, full-time opportunities, because we are recruiting right now and we're continuously recruiting. And geographically wise, we are fairly close as well. I don't know if any of the speakers wanted to add anything to that. Otherwise, I'll go to the next slide. So I know this is a busy slide, and it's almost purposefully busy because I want to show the different roles and job opportunities within the insurance industry. So you see at the very top, some of those traditional roles that you think of when you think of an insurance person, such as a sales agent, a client, or the underwriter, the actuary. And yes, all of these roles exist. All of these are core roles, and all of these are important in the insurance industry. But when you look down, all of these different roles are job opportunities across the insurance industry, across the reinsurance industry, and all of these are critical for helping with our mission to make the world more resilient. So we need all of these different units to collaborate together to help Swiss Re be as great of an organization as it is. And I just wanted to give a little plug that for our next session, we will hear from Swiss Re employees more specifically about what did they study in school. We have people with different backgrounds in marketing, history, risk management, talk about their career path, how they've applied their majors to their current role, and what classes they wish they could take. And then also more plugs about how important continuing education is. Before I open for questions, I did want to give an opportunity to our speakers to talk a little bit about the culture. I know we talked a lot in some of the answers, but speaking specifically about some things that keep you engaged. So we see a range of people that have been here from 5 years to 26 years. So what has kept you engaged that makes you want to stay at Swiss Re, besides the core part of the business? And I'll start with Liz.
Sure. It's for me, what keeps me engaged is just the learning opportunities presented. I think I've already said that I actually changed career paths and was able to do that within Swiss. And, if I had only been, if I only had the claims job and that was all my future, I would likely have left Swiss Re, right? Because I would be looking for just, further growth and the opportunity to expand my knowledge, work with different people is what has kept me at Swiss.
Thank you. And Maria, I'll ask you the same question. What has kept you engaged at Swiss Re?
Now, is that in addition to the excellent health club downstairs and the good cafeteria? Okay. In addition to that, what I really, really like is the company's attention to its people. And when I talk about that, just as recently as with what's going on with COVID-19 and having to work from home, it's the above and beyond that it goes to make sure that its people are cared for, the welfare of its people, and just the little things it throws out. I mean, even coming back, okay, I know I like the freebies, okay? Since we've been back, we've been getting free fancy coffees and free smoothies. I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but it's like, oh, they didn't have to do that. So for me, it's really the attention to the people's welfare that this company has that really keeps me coming back. And also the camaraderie, of when you come into this building, everybody is okay with everybody. You don't feel like, okay, this is a separate department, I don't belong. There is really a feeling of all of us at the table for the same purpose. We're all together. We're moving forward together. So that's, for me, it's a people aspect of it. Yeah.
Mhm.
The
And I don't think
smoothies
we
are
should
awesome.
underestimate the freebies, because
You know,
it really is, the detail to make employees happy that Swiss Re does go above and beyond. So I don't think that they should be underestimated. Dale, did you have a comment?
That the smoothies are awesome. No, I love the openness of it, and the ability to speak. Tina and I are on the same team, so she'll understand. We have just such a group of professionals that anyone can say whatever's on their mind freely. So if they have a thought about a topic, we can just raise it amongst our team, and everyone will work together to figure things out. It's such a great team that we're very open with each other. We're honest with each other. And as Maria said, we all have that same purpose. So it's truly a nice place to be.
Yeah, I would add to that. I mean, because you guys are sort of focusing on being nice to employees, and I absolutely support that. But our values, we believe in various things like agility, like learning. And I see, from my perspective as an employment lawyer, our value for people's dignity. I see it every day. I mean, the work I do can get adversarial. You guys, you may have had other jobs, you might have had jobs that you liked or you didn't like. You might have heard about people having trouble at work. We want to resolve things. We respect one another. If somebody's having a rough time, what I see over and over is how can we support that person? If somebody is newer to a team and needs more time to sort of onboard and ramp up, the team is always looking to what can we do to support this person and help them succeed. So, just from my office, what I see is a company that actually really cares about people. And I've worked for a lot of clients in the past where I'm their litigator and it's like no holds barred. We're just going to fight it out. We don't care about the other side. We only care about winning. And it's just not like that. We really care about people's dignity and respecting one another. So that's a really important point for me.
And I'll ask the same question to Christy. What do you enjoy most about the culture at Swiss Re, or what's kept you engaged, or maybe one or two things?
Yeah, I mean, my colleagues really said it well, and I was trying to think. The word that really came to me was, community, right? Sort of a work family. There's trust, there's that support, the caliber of people we talked about. They raise the bar where I have to set my own expectations even higher each time, and in that sense to better myself, right? And I think about my growth and development over these 16 years. I've had the right amount of reward, challenge, support, fulfillment. I have two little kids, and so to leave those little faces and come to work, as I said, for a global organization, and travel, and the opportunities that I've had are just tremendous. So I've just met. I think the people part is huge, and I think it goes back to the 4 Ps that I was saying earlier, right? My personal why is I want to make a positive impact, and Swiss Re is a company that provides a platform to do that, and that's really powerful for me. And so. That's what's kept that carrot sort of dangling for me, continuing going forward. And, I look forward to the next part of my career here as well. So.
Great. Thank you all for sharing your inputs. And I think now we'll just open it up for questions. We have just a couple minutes. If there's any questions on the phone, feel free to raise your hand or enter it in the chat box. And I'm just going to put in the chat box our career website, careers.swissre.com. We currently have our internship and graduates program roles listed there, but also happy to follow up with any of you if you have additional questions after kind of reflecting on this presentation. And again, the next session that we're hosting will kind of focus more on different Swiss Re employees and their different degrees and how they've applied that in their workplace and their different career paths. Great question. Will summer internships be fully in person, specifically the New York office? So right now, our offices are open at 50% capacity. And so we are encouraging employees to come into the office if they do feel comfortable. I would anticipate that next summer, our internships will be in person. However, I don't think any of our roles will be fully in person. I think we're going to have to embrace a hybrid approach going forward. So that would look potentially coming into the office 3 or 4 days a week and working from home 1 or 2 days. I think that's potentially the new normal. Obviously, if things change, we want our employees to be safe. So we'll reevaluate, but that's what I think next summer will look like if I have a crystal ball.
So, Jamie, just one thing to talk about on next summer also is how the internship really does expose students to so many different parts of the company that, there's a lot of rotating, there's a lot of bringing in guest speakers to lunch to talk about what they do. And so, you're not kind of just stuck doing one thing and, at the end of the summer saying, well, that was all right. You actually get like a very, very broad experience.
Yes, that's a good point. So you do a lot of on-the-job work with the team, but as Tina mentioned, you work on group projects. There's a lot of networking opportunities. For me, a successful internship program would be at the end of the summer, you have developed some soft skills, developed some technical skills, and you have a lot more direction on what career path you'd like to go to. And we try to, through that different exposure, help you with that. Okay, I don't see any questions or any comments or hands raised. So I'll just finish with the last comment, and then Katie, I'll hand it over to you. For me, I also wasn't sure what reinsurance was, what was Swiss Re when I joined, but through my experience, I've had my eyes opened to a lot of different cultures, a lot of different people, but then also how dynamic the industry is. And there are a lot of opportunities available, and not just within your career development, but also in terms of your networking and learning and this continuous learning. It's a great company to work for, and we look forward to getting to know the students a little bit better and for you guys to get to know us better. So I'll hand it over to you, Katie.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. My soapbox in liberal arts and the Career Enrichment Network is that importance of soft skills and how our students can do anything. It's just a matter of marketing themselves. So as Jamie said, there'll be 2 more sessions next week on Tuesday and Thursday at the same time. The links are again found in Nittany Lion Careers. For anyone interested in applying but is looking for that last minute resume review or support, as a liberal arts major, you're welcome to schedule an appointment through Nittany Lion Careers with any of our career coaches in the office. And most academic colleges have their own offices too. So if we have anybody here from the business college or other college, those are available too for your reference and to help you out in that arena. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you all again next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.